Chelsea.
Hey, what's up?
So good to have you. So excited for us to kick off Intuitive Tuesdays, where we get to connect with you and talk about what's going on, giving us insight, spilling the tea, because we're going to go over so many juicy topics that people want to know about, and we want you to give us that insight with those cards, girl. I've been hooked since I met you. And so we're excited because, you're going to be now in the LOE Healing Center over in Clayton at Atmosphere, second floor. And I wanted to show everybody, like, all about you and how that came about. And I was just really taken aback because you have this approach that, like, is more that connected, high vibes, plentiful energy, where it's not like that old feeling of tarot being, like, negative or, like, so dark, and that's not what it's used for, right? It's a divination tool to help you gain insight, right, on what people need. So I want to just, let's just hang out together, talk a little bit about what's going on, and tell us about you, girl.
Yeah, well, I love Light of Elaine. I've been a fan of yours for a little while now. I love your events and your drum circles. I definitely came to one of those and was just like banging it out. Like I got my own little drum now, banging it out. Like, yeah, no, I'm a big fan. I love love and light. Really, what tarot is, there is this whole idea out there of like, oh, it's scary. Like, legit, a horror movie called Tarot just came out, And I'm like, oh my gosh, roll my eyes, because that I feel like that fear has been put out into the world because honestly, tarot is therapy. It's therapy before therapy existed. Before psychology came around, all they had was these talk cards that could prompt them to talk about difficult subjects or things they needed to think about and talk about and process. And yes, I am tapping into your guides. I believe we have guardian angels and spirit guides, our higher powers that are helping us through this life. And at the end of the day, this is just a coaching session. You can ask me anything. I usually divide it up into like career, romance, personal growth, like just different parts of your life. And I also have like, what should I be proud of? Like, we can dive into a lot of different things and really talk it out. And the best part is that if you stay open to it, there's not much that you really have to share with me for us to get there. So it's really like, it's just me and the cards. I don't know anything. I'm just like tapping in and channeling and reading with the people that do know. And I just tap into the radio station,
That frequency.
Yes. So I don't know anything. I do these messages all day because I need to hear them. Honestly.
They help you out, right? When we help people out.
Exactly.
Like,
no one needs to learn more than the person doing the thing.
So tell me, what do you think the bad connotation is with these cards, and people, like, why are some so afraid of them? Like,
there's butt heads everywhere, and like
religion.
Any religion, any belief, there are butt heads, and I do know that there have been some people, some friends that I knew for a while before I was interested in tarot, that were like, I support you, I see this makes you happy, but I never went a reading because I had a bad experience. Because there are selfish people out there that are using this just to make money and freak people out. Like, there is that there. Thankfully, I have seen a renaissance of a lot of love and light tarot readers that really just want to help out and help people get to the root of things. Because sometimes it's just easier to not have to relive an experience to be able to like talk about it, and talk about what happened and stuff. And it doesn't always have to be negative things. I can do like, what blessings are coming your way? What can make my day better? But honestly, this gives you an edge. You can pull a card. It provides you instantaneous inspiration, because when you pull a card or you have me pull a card, it's your intuition that's guiding things, it's your choice. Like, I can shuffle these cards all day, and like, you pick any card, we'll have something to talk about, because you picked that card for a reason. I've never had someone pick a card, sit down for a reading, and then be like, well, nothing here.
Yeah, there's always some kind of connection that needed to be communicated to the client. And what about those negative things? We all have hard moments. We all have challenges. How do you convey those messages?
Honestly, I try to do it in a most comforting way. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to put like a prettier picture than what I actually see. I am going to be honest with you. But really, if I look into the future and there's something I don't like that might be happening, that's why you're warned by the tarot, because you have a choice to make different decisions to have a different outcome. Your future is not like a locked thing where like you can only go this way. You have infinite timelines and infinite choices. Decisions is what determines your destiny, not like these pieces of paper. Like, this can give you advice, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. So if I'm never going to be like, oh my gosh, you're going to get in a car accident, and then this is like, that is a bunch of BS, honestly. Because when you sit down with me, I'm more so going to start with, like, I start pulling on past and present just to see where you're at, because you know where you're at. And that's like kind of like my BS meter, because if I can't explain to you where you're at, then I am obviously not clicked in, So I start with where you're at, because you know where you're at. And I really try to make people feel comfortable and like they can, like they have control over their lives,
Yes, and I love that. Because people need direction, and if you have an ability to shift an outcome and have that warning, why not receive it? It's for your highest good. So let's do a mini reading today. And I work a lot with rising, empowering divine feminine through my leadership and approach and all the things I do. I work with men too, but I tend to have more women join the events. So the women have been let's just say the feminine energy, because it's androgynous, right? It's interchangeable. It's not non-gender specific. The feminine energy is rising and catapulting, and the masculine energy is trying to catch up. And also, it's such an accelerated spirituality in New Age, and more people are awakened and connected, and everyone's a channel. It's just allowing yourself to be open, right? So let's do a reading on where we are right now, the Divine Feminine Collective.
Wonderful.
And also like what's coming their way with the masculine energy that's kind of snoozing, or still in that mode of, everything's about action and doing and not going within. Let's get into that. What are your thoughts?
I love it. Let's do it. We will touch base with the Divine Feminine, and then we can touch base with the Divine Masculine if you like. I'm down. I love the rise. I agree with you on the fact that the Divine Feminine is rising into power. I feel like COVID was a big, left turn for a lot of people. Like, honestly, I wasn't even... this is what COVID did to me. I was a phlebotomist. Like, I drew blood for a living. I was a scientist. I was like, yay, science.
And that was me.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of feminines thought they were going in one direction, and then COVID happened, and it was like a total plot twist, and it sent them on a different path. And that path is actually a higher path. It wasn't an easier path, but it was a higher path. And it's starting to show in last year, this year is probably right when it's starting to really pay off. If you stuck to your guns.
Yeah, if you've been on the journey, doing the work, facing the shadow,
the high road.
Yeah, working
really
through
big
your
on that.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
definitely not for the weak.
No. Like, they think this woo-woo stuff is all us holding hands and singing songs. This is hardcore, tough stuff. That, like, even the toughest person would be like, I don't know about that, you know? Yep, okay. So we do that and that. Hold on, let me get a couple of oracle cards. Oh, they're flying. They're flying. They're ready.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
All right. Yeah. Okay, one more. Woo, woo, woo. And this one? Okay. All right. So, the last card, but probably my favorite, is Justice is Coming. Because I feel like justice has been something that's just been like just out of reach for a lot of people. Like, they get so close and then get there and then it just gets snatched away at the last second. You know, I really feel like that has been happening. Like, you've been trying to dig yourself out of this karmic trench of like healing yourself. So if you've been doing the work since 2020, probably before 2020, but especially since 2020, you've been digging yourself out of all of your karma, all of it, like one by one, and sometimes multiple things at once, you know, like it's all been coming up at the same time over the last 4 years. And it's like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to face everything? Like, what is happening? Why am I stuck in the middle of this trench? And that's kind of why the justice hasn't totally arrived, because there is a sense of readying yourself and becoming ready, you know? Really, yeah. So, really, we've just been on this path of digging ourselves out of where we were 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been tedious. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of healing, you know? I really feel like divine feminines have had to step up. The Emperor is my divine masculine card, but feminines have had to be their own masculine energy. They've had to step up and really take care of themselves in a way that we would like a masculine energy to do that, but they aren't available. And it's like you kind of have to save yourself first type of energy. You can't expect your knight in shining armor to come in and fix it all for you. Like, you have to clear the path. You have to make a way to receive them, basically, you know? And I really feel like you've definitely been out of your comfort zone, but it's been helping you grow. Like, you've been meeting each obstacle, each challenge in the karmic trench with all your effort and all your ability. Were you perfect? No, you were not perfect. You weren't, but you were doing everything you could with the information that you had at the time, you know? Yesterday, I threw it up on my stories, but I saw a thing that said, I might F around and forgive my past self for not knowing better, you know? And it's like, I feel that that's been coming up a lot. This is red and then forgive on the bottom there. And it's like, we really need to know that we did good enough. We did good enough. Okay, we didn't get an A plus. We still got an A. We still got an A. She's still in this really beautiful place surrounded by all these plants and these flowers and like celebrating her. But she just seems weighed down by like, oh, I could have done better. I could have made better choices. I could have, shoulda, woulda. That's those thought patterns that just drive us crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because hindsight is 2020, you know, and it's like, no, you are good enough right now. You did good, okay? Please celebrate your wins, celebrate your accomplishments, celebrate where you've come, because in the last 4 years, you've built a really beautiful life, you know? Have you arrived? No, you're still on the journey. You're still moving forward. You're still on your odyssey. But holy crap, have you gone from deep in the trenches to the Ten of Cups, which is like yes, this makes me happy. I'm satisfied. I'm joyful. There's more good in my life than there is struggle, you know? And like life is always going to have struggle. Oh, that jumped out there. But like you have recognized that your foundation and your power is within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not within someone else. It's not within your job. It's not within your marriage. It's not within the house you own or anything you could accomplish. It's within you. You are the source of abundance. You know, and the Queen of Wands is the most feminine queen in the deck. She does recognize the Empress is the true divine feminine, but if you aren't fully upgraded to Empress, you're the Queen of Wands.
That's the next, right?
Yeah. So she's beautiful, she's radiant, and she receives. There's also been a lesson of learning how to be successful the divine feminine route instead of the divine masculine route. There's nothing wrong with the divine masculine route of attaining success, as in ambition, hustle, going out there, like lassoing it and bringing it home, you know? But like the divine feminine receives, she receives her abundance. She brings it towards her. She knows she's good enough. She calls it in. So like that is true balance though, because we can't always be moving forward. We have to rest and let it come to us too. And I feel like that there's been a lot of like being chosen, you know, for opportunities and for things moving forward and things coming to you as you've learned to make room. Honestly, the reason the divine feminine is so successful at this is because she looks within and she unpacks that baggage. She unpacks it one box at a time, all right? Because you can't bring in new things if you're all full up. So you got to clear space out, you know? And that is a big lesson that's happening right now because our society in America and the world at large is very leaning towards masculine energy. And that, like I said, that doesn't have a gender. You could be any gender and have masculine energy. And that is a perfectly great way to go, but it's not the only way to go. You know, and I feel like here's another queen here. We got the queens coming through, you know? Yeah. And like this is our time. This is our time. I know this is a willow tree, but I've been looking, I drive around a lot, and I've been noticing all the mimosa trees blooming right now. And just so you know, that's one of my favorite trees. It is invasive, so I will give it that. But it's one of my favorite trees because it takes 10 years for them to bloom flowers. 10 years, okay? And like as soon as they hit the 10 years, they are blooming all over the place. You can see them everywhere, but 10 years in the making, okay? So it's a slower pace. Trees don't get up and walk around, you know, like everything has to come to the tree, you know? So really it's about slowing down and knowing you're good enough and bringing that towards you as a feminine. And as if you are considered, if you are a guy or like a masculine woman or anything like that, if you feel more comfortable in your masculine energies, it's a time to tap into that. And I don't mean be more girly. I don't mean that. At all. No, but like the feminine energy has value and it hasn't been valued for a very long time. A very long time. And we're just tapping into like, what does receptivity and vulnerability mean to me? You know, what does that look like for me? How do I express myself? Because like art can be anything. Art can be anything. I consider tarot art, it is in a spiritual expression, but it's also my artistic expression. I consider like, maybe you just like working on cars. Like you would think that wasn't art, but it is because you're taking something and you're reinventing it and you're making it more than what it was, you know, or you're bringing it back to its original greatness. So
I love that analogy. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so like there is so much art out there that probably isn't even considered art because it's leaning too masculine. It's like, no, no, this is your expression. This is your vulnerability. This is you putting yourself out there. And it takes real courage to put part of yourself out there, no matter what that is. But that's what being a feminine is. Um, Being a true feminine, I picture like a lighthouse shining their light. You are doing work, you're shining your light, you're showing it off, and you're letting people know that there's a place of safety so that everybody out in the boats can come find you. You know, and it's like if you were out in the boat trying to find them, y'all might be missing each other, like going this way, that way, that way.
You hold steady and you wait.
Yeah,
for the light.
You gotta plant down.
Yeah,
shine a light.
Yeah, absolutely. And the boats come towards you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Use you as a compass. Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that. That was so beautiful. All your analogies and layers, interpretations, and you make a great point because in the astrology right now in June, we have a new moon next week on the 5th, 6th in Gemini, and it's going to conjunct Venus, the planet of love and money, abundance. So the last time that happened was June of 2020, and you mentioned this started in 2020, like the hard awakening. Like we've been already awakening prior to that, but that shutdown forced people to go inside. So you're so spot on with your message because we didn't even like talk about the astrology, and that's what's happening. Like there's a part of us, of all the feminine energy, not only women, that realized in June of 2020 that this has to look differently. My life has to start to look differently. Like we were forced. So now we want to look back at all the tapes in the past 4 years. How have you unveiled this new self of self-love and what you want to receive and what you are willing to accept and not accept? Because the feminine, which is the Venus planet, is like a no nonsense anymore. Like she's not going to take it. She's not going to accept less than. And it's a force. So this force is elevating, and now everyone is confused about their position.
I mean, honestly, confusion. I just feel like the last 4 years have been like finding peace in the confusion and the chaos. Like, legit being like, if anything starts getting predictable ever again, I will be floored, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right. We were stuck. We were all like robotic autopilot.
Oh, definitely. Doing what we thought we should be doing, what we were expected, what was safe. But I have learned that the more I try to be safe, the less successful I am. Like, the more I stick my head out and I'm like, I'm different. Look at me. I'm doing different stuff. Like, the more success I get in the long run. I won't say it's 100% happy all the time because you're not for everybody, but like, it's really a lesson in can you be true to yourself? And I love it. I don't know anything. I pick up a little bit of astrology just from tarot because it's in the cards as well. Yeah. But I had no idea that this June is a bookend to June 2020. That's so cool. Like,
it's more like a checkpoint of where we once were and we are now standing firmer in that ground. Like you mentioned before how we were in the trenches trying to dig ourselves out. So I feel like we really are making huge strides, and we want it. This energy is to bring about more love, more compassion, more connection to intuition, where before we weren't allowed to. If you were intuitive, you were rich. If you were too like open, you were considered like evil. And now this era truly is about being your authentic self and showing up uniquely you. We're not supposed to be the same. We're not supposed to conform and be structured in like some kind of pigeonhole manner. Where really now embracing our authenticity, and I'm so excited.
Oh my
all the
gosh.
things. I get all passionate, but I'm really grateful to have you part of the team, and you're there Mondays and Wednesdays. You're available for bookings there, and I love your playful energy. And we're gonna have more, and we're gonna get down and out and juicy. But I wanted to introduce you to everyone and kick this off, and I'm just super excited.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. I'm so excited to be on the team, and I hope to see whoever's watching this. I hope to see you guys at events in the future. And yeah, give me a call. I'm not scary. I'm like getting coffee with your best friend. We're just going to talk it out. And you're going to get the answers you need. And I'll probably get answers I need, and we'll just learn together.
Thank you so much. Quick read tarots on Insta and Facebook, right?
I'm Quick Tarot Read.
Quick tarots. Oh my God.
You're good.
Okay. I'm too much in my head.
It's my last name. Yeah. It's a pun. Because my last name is Quick. It's Chelsea Quick, so I'm Quick Tarot Read.
Quick Tarot Reads. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And can't wait to hang out more with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes.